We may not all understand the technical, philosophical terminology that philosophers use to dissect and describe things that we can and cannot know, but most rational people understand that there are some things we can know and some things we cannot. We can know that we exist. We can know that 1 + 1 = 2. We can know that yesterday is in the past and tomorrow is yet to be seen and full of the unknown. What's mind-boggling are those things that atheistic evolutionists say Christians cannot know, while at the same time assuring the world of the many things that they know regarding the origins of man and the universe. Atheists contend that Christians cannot know that there is a creator, and that in fact they know that there is not a creator. Yet they will affirm that they know that the universe is the result of an infinitesimal ball of matter that exploded about 14 billion years ago. After explaining that the universe came into existence billions of years ago from nothing in a black hole, the late world-renowned atheistic cosmologist Stephen Hawking said, "That is exactly what happened at the start of the universe." Really? How did he know exactly what happened 14 billion years ago? Atheists contend that Christians cannot know that Christ lived, died, and arose from the dead 2,000 years ago, yet they claim to know exactly what happened 14 billion years ago. Atheists contend that Christians cannot know that life was created by a supernatural creator a few thousand years ago, even though biogenesis has repeatedly proven itself true that in nature life comes only from life and that of its own kind. Atheistic evolutionists claim to know the very opposite to be true. In nature, life evolved from non-life billions of years ago. Atheists contend that Christians cannot know that a creator made sea creatures and land animals, but they affirm with all confidence that fish flopped out of water and evolved into amphibians and reptiles, while certain land animals drifted out into water and evolved fins, flukes, and blowholes on their way to becoming whales. Atheists contend that Christians cannot know that human life was specially created differently from all other creation. But they supposedly know that humans evolved from ape-like creatures. As was emphatically stated in one widely used middle school textbook, there is no doubt among scientists that humans evolved from common ancestors they share with other living primates. Scientists also know that the human species evolved in Africa and then spread around the earth. Atheists contend that Christians cannot know that the Bible is from God, but they can know that their man-made, assumption-based, often contradictory dating techniques somehow prove that various rocks on Earth are billions of years old. Many atheistic evolutionists contend with all assurance that they know what happened millions or billions of years ago. They claim to know that purely naturalistic evolution is a fundamental fact. As one world-renowned atheist put it a few years ago, creation-believing Christians who refuse to accept the alleged fact of evolution are ignorant, stupid, or insane. Why? Because we believe, based upon evidence, that the universe is an effect of a cause that must be much greater than the explosion of a tiny ball of matter? Because Christians contend that mind, not matter, is eternal? Because Christians contend that complex functional design demands a designer and not a random explosion? Because Christians contend that a human life is more precious than that of a bug's? Because Christians contend that nature itself demands a supernatural explanation for the origin of life, since life doesn't pop into existence in nature from nothing? Because Christians contend that the answers that the Creator provided for us in His inspired, ever-enduring, never-changing Word, rather than in the ever-changing, constantly revised fable of evolution? Leading atheists act as if they know exactly what happened at the start of the universe, even though allegedly no conscious being was around 14 billion years ago to witness it. Christians, on the other hand, choose to believe in the answers of the one who was at creation and who did the creating. As God asked the patriarch Job, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth?" Rather than accept the wisdom of the world, why not seek the wisdom of the one who created the world? Ultimately, only He can provide the details to the origin of the universe and everything in it.